Okay girls, we're now going to have a look at doing some examples. Now if we have a look here at example 1 girls, and if angle C equals 115, find the value of all the other angles. So up here, that's 115. So let's have a look girls at how we might go about doing that. You might like to pause the video for a moment and remembering what you know about corresponding angles, co-interior angles, and alternate angles, and supplementary angles, you might like to try and work out what you think each one of those is first. So if you want to do that, just pause the video, have a go, copy the diagram in, and let's now check your answers. Okay, angle B is 115. It's vertically opposite angle C. We can see that there. Angle A is 65 because it's supplementary to angle C. So angle C plus angle A have to equal 180 degrees. They're angles on a straight line. Angle D equals 65 because it's vertically opposite angle A. Angle E equals 65 because it's co-interior to angle C. And angle C is 115, so 115 plus 65 add up to 180, and you'll remember that co-interior angles, girls, add up to 180. We have angle G equals 115 degrees because it's corresponding to angle C in matching corners. Angle F is 115 because it's alternate to angle C, both inside the parallel lines on opposite sides of the transversal. Remember that was what alternate angles were, and they're equal, girls. Angle H equals 65 degrees because it's corresponding to D. Matching corners. Now girls, we're going to do a practice session now. I want you to look at the diagram here and complete the table opposite. So pause the video. I want you to copy that diagram into your book and that table, and I want you to have a go at doing that table. When you're ready and you've completed the table, then continue on with the video. Okay, let's have a look at that, girls. Let's have a look at the answers to that so you can check whether you're getting these right. Angle A and E are corresponding angles, matching corners. H and D are also in matching corners, same side of the parallel line and same side of the transversal. C and E, they're co-interior, they're on the same side of the transversal and between the two parallel lines. H and E are vertically opposite. They're not touching, but they're vertically opposite a pair of lines if you just look at this one little section here. C and F, they're between the parallel lines on opposite sides of the transversal, so they're alternate angles. B and F are corresponding angles, they're in matching corners. And E and G are supplementary angles, they would make angles on a straight line. So I hope you got all those right, girls. If you didn't, make some changes and correct that work so that it's all complete. Once you've done that, I want you to go and have a look at the second practice. In the second example, girls, I want you to complete the table below, given that K equals 80 degrees. So we've got K equaling 80 degrees, and angle O is 80 degrees because it's vertically opposite K. Now pause this video and try and see if you can work out the values of all the other pronumerals. Okay girls, you've had a chance now to try and work those out, and now I'm just going to go through them with you. N is supplementary to K, so K plus N are angles on a straight line, so there N has to be 100 because K is 80, so 100 plus 80 is 180. M is 100, it's also supplementary to K on this line here. Angle F is 80 because it corresponds to K. It's on the left side of the parallel line and above the transversal. Angle P is 80. It also corresponds to K. It's on the left side of the parallel line and above the transversal. Angle J is 80 degrees. It's alternate to K. Remember, they're between one set of parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. Then we have angle H equals 100 degrees because it's co-interior to K. Remember, there's between a pair of parallel lines, same side of the transversal, and they've got to add up to 180 degrees. Angle R is 100 because it's supplementary to P, and P is already known to be 80 degrees. Angle S is 80 degrees because it's corresponding to O, and angle O up here was 80 degrees. Angle Q is 100 because it's co-interior to O. So O's 80, O plus Q has to equal 180, so Q's 100. Angle G is 100, it's corresponding to angle M. So angle M, angle G, they're in matching corners. So I want you now, girls, to look at the diagram below. Look at this table, pause the video, copy this diagram into your book and the table into your book, and I want you to have a go at completing this exercise. When you've had a go, click on the video so you can see if you actually got these right. Okay, these are the answers, girls, to this. Now, I'm not going to go through it in great detail, but I want you to see if you've got all of these right. And if you haven't, I want you to look and see if you can work out where you went wrong. If you can't, you must bring that to class tomorrow. Let's look at example 3. Let's look at this diagram. Now that diagram looks very involved, girls, and you wonder how that fits in with parallel lines and transversals. But let's have a look. Let's just look at the parallel lines. So I've got these two lines here, girls, the two parallel lines, and I'm using this as a transversal. So you can see I've got 30 there, I've got A there. We could extend those lines all the way, which is what I've done here, and you can see that A is an alternate angle to that 30 degrees over here. So A and the 30 degrees are alternate angles, so we know that angle A equals 30. Now we can just look at this triangle here, angle 38, angle A, which we know to be 30, and angle C. So we know that C is 180 minus the 30 minus the 38. So C is 112 degrees because the angles inside this triangle here, girls, have to add up to 180 degrees. Now let's look at the other parallel lines in the transversal, which is this transversal here, girls. And we've still got our two parallel lines. And we'll see that angle 38 here and angle B are also alternate angles. So we know that angle B is 38 also. So what started out as something fairly complicated, we break it down into the parallel lines and the transversals, and we put the information that is given for each one of those on it, and then we might need to know the angles inside a triangle. So let's look at a third practice for us to do. We're going to find the values of A, B and C in here. Now I want you to copy this into your book, and I want you to work out what are the values of A, B and C. When you're ready, girls, and you're finished, just restart the video and have a look at the answers to that. So let's look at practice 3 answers. Now to do the answers, girls, I've extended the parallel lines and I've extended these two transversals here to make it easier for you. So we can see that angle A is corresponding with this 40 here. That's the parallel lines, this is the transversal. So they're both in matching corners. They're above their parallel line and they're to the left hand side of the transversal. So they can be considered corresponding. So angle A is 40 degrees. Now once we know two of the angles inside a triangle, we remember that the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So we'd have 50 plus 40 is 90. So C over here has to be 90 degrees because the angles inside this triangle here have to add up to 180 degrees. Now we can just look at C and B. Now we know that that's 90, and we should be able to see here, girls, that B is a corresponding angle to C. They're both above their parallel line and to the right hand side of the transversal, so they're in matching corners. And corresponding angles are equal. So if angle C is 90, angle B is also 90 degrees. So girls, I hope that you've had time to practice, and if you can't see those answers, remember to ask in class tomorrow. But I want you to go on now and have a look at the Google form questions in the document so that we can have a look at those for tomorrow.